Okay, for this week's discussion board, we had to read the Inspiration Not Infiltration article. And for the first question, how might those determined to carry out attacks, like overcome the defenses? Um, from the article, I found that they will use like different personas, like find someone like new that has like a clean slate, like they're not no criminal record, there's like no background history. Um, they also look for foreigners outside of conflict zones, like of course like foreigners coming from like Islam, like the conflict zones where there's a lot of like war and stuff, and like the jihadist people, like they almost it's going to be noticeable and like more extensive background checks. So they search on the outside to look for more radicalized people. They also like apply for different visas. Um, One thing that kind of like really threw me off is like I didn't really realize how many visas you could get, like just for like the 9/11 hijackers, how they came in on just for like a commercial planes, like coming in just to learn how to do that. I thought that was like, I don't know if it's because I already know about 9/11, but like I feel like that could be like seen before how that could be an issue. Hmm. And for the second question, what types of intelligence, like, and like, how can we prevent these types of attacks? Like, the main thing is communication. Um, I feel like that's the biggest issue. Like, like I said in the article, like when someone applies, like getting a background check, kind of, and like having to ask, like the European countries, like, hey, like, I need the information on them, and like just communication like between countries and like making sure like who they are is legit. um and also like in preventing attacks, like if they find like someone suspected of like a terrorist, like interrogating, like the legal way, of course. And just like trying to get the information needed to prevent these attacks, and just like maybe like locals anonymous tips. I know that'll be hard to get to, but just like those kind of intelligence, and just like working together with communication between agencies and countries, like will all like help prevent any like type of like terrorist attack on any country. um what can be done about like the citizens that are becoming radicalized? I mean, I know they already have like a watch list, and just like checking in on that more, because like just like searching up certain things can get you put on a watch list. And I feel like I personally don't know how deep they go into it, so I don't know if like they need to have harsher like criterias, like harsher like security on it. But like without like evading privacy, just like if someone is searching up like radicalized stuff, like taking it as like a serious threat, and like having people come visit, or like looking into them, and just like seeing what you can do to at least make sure they're not just like a student who's curious about it, compared to like someone who's trying to use that ideology to become radicalized and have an attack on U.S. soil. One thing that definitely threw me for a loop, like this kind of goes back to like the intelligence question, like from reading the article, is that how one of the 9/11 hijackers was actually like came through like a French visa, and was on like their watch list for suspected terrorism, and still was able to come in. Like that kind of like him being able to get in, he could go around and like start recruiting and radicalizing people who are on U.S. soil. So when he leaves, he would have like a base like front to like keep going with it, and like try and have them help plan out attacks, and not have to worry about like the logistics of it, like getting into the country and whatnot, because there's already U.S. citizens there. And that's about the gist of everything I got from the article.